Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning into this video in which we will look at using ratios to find amounts. So we're going to look at dividing a quantity in a given ratio and also how using equations can help us. So to divide a quantity in a given ratio, follow these three steps. Calculate number of parts, find value of each part, and multiply each number in the ratio by your answer to 2. Okay, it probably sounds a bit confusing. Let's look at an example. So the length to width ratio of a rectangle is 12:7 and the perimeter is 266. And we're going to calculate the area of the rectangle. So we can only calculate the area of the rectangle if we first calculate its length and width. Now notice that if the perimeter is 266, it's 266 all the way around. So the length plus the width is actually equal to half that, the semi-perimeter. It's 133. What we're actually being asked to is divide 133 in the ratio 12:7. So the total number of parts is 19. We are dividing it 12 parts length, 7 parts width. 12 plus 7 is 19. So the value of each part is going to be the total, 133 divided by 19, which happens to be 7. So we take that 7, the value of each part, and multiply by each number in the ratio. One part is worth 7, so that means 12 parts is worth 12 times 7, 84. 7 parts is 49. So 84 to 49 is in this ratio, and they add up to 133. So what that means is here, the length is equal to 84 centimeters, the width is equal to 49 centimeters. So of course that means that the area will be 84 times 49, 4116 centimeters squared, and we're done. All right, let's now look at using equations with ratios. So the length to width ratio of a rectangle is 12:7, same as in the previous question. The area is 756, calculate its perimeter. So this one's a little harder. We still have a rectangle and length to width is in the ratio 12:7. That's the same as the previous question. But this time we're told the area, not the perimeter. We don't know what these two numbers add up to. So this is actually a different question where we're going to use equations. So because I don't know what they add up to, I can't use the process of dividing a quantity in a given ratio. But what I know is this. I know that if the ratio of length to width is 12:7, that means I can write the length as 12 times a number and the width as 7 times that number. That's essentially what it means to be in the ratio of 12:7. 12 times a number, 7 times that same number. So what that means is that if I have the area being 756, I have length times width equals 756. And lucky we did work on non-linear equations. 12 times 7 is 84. X times x is x squared. So now we need to find what x is. We need to undo what's been done to x. We divide 84 and then square root. So we get x squared is 756 divided 84. X is the square root of 9, which is 3. Now I know previously I told you that when you have x squared equals 9, there are two solutions, x equals 3, x equals minus 3. However, this is not applicable here because we're talking about lengths. We can't have a negative length. So that's why I only consider the solution x equals 3. So we're not actually done. X equals 3 isn't the final solution. It tells you like the factor by which the length and width have been multiplied by. We just figured out the length is 12 times 3 and the width is 7 times 3. So the perimeter, just adding up all of them, will be 114 centimeters. All right, we're going to use a similar idea now on a much harder question. So the ratio of water to cordial in a drink is 12 to 5. If I add 60 mils more of water, 20 mils of cordial, ratio becomes 5 to 2. How much water and cordial did I originally use? So here's the thing, we're not dividing a quantity in a given ratio because I don't know what this adds up to. You know, if I told you that the drink was 3 litres in total, that would be really easy to find out how much water and how much cordial. We're going to use a trick that we used on the previous slide. See, if the ratio of water to cordial is 12 to 5, that means the water is 12 times some number in quantity and the cordial is 5 times some number. So what this is saying is if we take the amount of water and we add 60 mils, then we take the amount of cordial and add 20 mils, that is equivalent to the ratio 5 to 2. So what do we know about equivalent ratios? Well, these two will be equivalent if I've times this by the same number as I've times this. That's actually a bit complicated. Is there an easier way to think about it? Well, it turns out there is. We can actually write these as fractions. See, if these are equivalent ratios, they are going to be equivalent fractions. So you know how to solve equations like this, lucky we did a lot of practice. You cross multiply. So we just get the equation 2 times 12x plus 60 equals 5 times 5x plus 20. Okay, we know when we have a linear equation that has pronumeral on both sides of the equation, we need to get rid of the fractions. Done. Now we need to get rid of the brackets by expanding. So 2 times 12x, 2 times 60, 5 times 5x, and 5 times 20. Okay, so from this, we can simply subtract 24x from both sides. And clearly you can see if x plus 100 equals 120, x equals 20. So we're not done. We haven't found the answer, we've just found x. So if x is 20, that means the amount of water used is 12 times 20, which is 240 mils. The amount of cordial used is 5 times 20, which is 100 mils. All right, thank you so much for tuning into this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.